Welcome to Adam Swartz Puppets Video Workshop. Today's adventure, the history of puppets. The history of puppets. This will take at least 3.5 hours. First puppet that was perceived to be invented was thousands and thousands of years ago by the... I can tell this is boring. Let me sum up. I'll tell you a really short story. Close your eyes. All of you? Okay, good. And imagine, look at the pictures in your head. Think of a very early human, like a cave person, many years ago, sitting in their cave after dinner, around the campfire, and starts telling a story, and all the other cave people say, "Oh, not this story again. Bob always tells this story, it's so boring." But then, Bob, telling the story, holds up his hands and starts moving them around. And then, everyone looks on the cave wall behind him and say, "Ooh, look, TV." Wasn't TV, but they saw shadow puppets. I like to think that there's 5 common types of puppets, and you're all probably really familiar with them. One of them, of course, is shadow puppets. So you can, wiggle all of your digits here and, count on, one hand or 1 foot or whatever you have. 5 common types of puppets, one of them shadow puppets. You could make shadow puppets using your hands. That was a bird. You can also make shadow puppets using other objects other than your hands. Craft material. Here's another very elaborate shadow puppet. This one has movable joints and extra sticks on it to move its arms, and lots of little tiny intricate holes cut out to let light through. What do you need to make a shadow puppet? Well, you need light, and you need dark, and you need something to block the light to make the shadow. And it's also really cool sometimes when you have shadow puppets that let light through the object. Gives extra detail. Another common type of puppet. Can anybody out there in our audience guess what type of puppet I'm thinking of? Anybody? Yes, you. What puppet am I thinking of? Finger puppets, correct! Finger puppets are usually pretty small because they just go on your finger, like this one right here. This one's pretty large for a finger puppet, but it's still a finger puppet because it goes on your finger. Doesn't matter what finger, it could be your pinky, could even be your thumb. Some scholars debate whether your thumb is actually a finger or not. Those scholars are usually in kindergarten and first grade.
Hey, are you ready for a picnic?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh great, this looks like a good spot over by the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Ah! Oh no!
It's a bear!
It's a bear! Oh, he's probably gonna eat us. This is a big problem.
Well, I don't want to get eaten.
Neither do I.
I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Mr. Bear, would you like to share our picnic with us?
Okay, nobody's ever asked me to share with them before.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Sharing is caring.
What do you have?
Now, let's see. I got some hummus and carrot sticks. Got some kale chips.
That sounds delicious.
And, peanut butter cookies.
Yay, my favorite.
Yay!
Yay!
So we got two common types of puppets. Another common type of puppet, we're on number 3 now, is a stick puppet. That would be any puppet that you hold up with a stick or multiple sticks. Here's a little example of a stick puppet. Notice the stick that I'm holding it up by, thus making it a stick puppet. Here's another type of stick puppet. As you can see, the stick. Now, the stick does not have to be wood. It could be metal or plastic or some other type of object. As long as it's in a stick shape, I consider it a stick puppet. This one has extra sticks, so I can make her dance. Dun, 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 dun. Woo. Moving on to puppet number 4, hand puppets. Very technical term. Any puppet that goes on your hand is a hand puppet. For example, a paper bag goes on your hand, that's a hand puppet. Or a sock goes on your hand, it's a hand puppet. Hand puppets can be made out of anything just like any other kind of puppet. This one is made out of mostly fabric, plastic, ping pong balls, marker, some glue. And this one is actually a sock. Couple of socks. Now, you might say, wait a minute, Adam! This puppet can't be a hand puppet because it has these sticks. Well, it's a type of hand puppet that has sticks just to move its arms around. It's called a hand and rod puppet. A hand and rod puppet is also a hand puppet. Remember, anything that goes on your hand and you move around with your hand is a hand puppet. Another type of hand puppet is called a glove puppet, but it still goes on your hand, so it's a hand puppet. This one does not have a mouth that moves, but it's still a hand puppet. I can make it wave! Hi! Now I'm going to show you a magic trick so you can see inside of the puppet on how my hand is moving. Watch this trick. it looks like this. And the head goes on these fingers, and your puppet arms are moved with these fingers. That's how it works. Was there anything else you'd like to tell our studio audience? Moo! Thank you for that very insightful knowledge you are passing on to our studio audience. So have a wonderful day, Moo. Pleasure meeting you. And Moo. Yeah, would you like a hug? Is that what? Okay. A little cowy hug. Oh, thank you. Moo. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Not green grass there. But okay. All right, we'll be back after I clean my hair with shampoo. All right, thank you.
I help my mommy on the farm.
On the farm?
Yeah.
Ah, well that's probably a lot of work you have to do. What kind of things do you do on the farm?
I get to feed the baby cowies.
Oh yeah, we interviewed a cow earlier.
Will we? Was it a baby?
I don't think so. Its name was Moo. So helping your mom out, is that fun?
Yeah.
Hard work though?
No.
It's easy?
Yeah.
Well, I know not of the first thing to do on a farm.
Well, first you have to plant them, then they grow and you water them, and then you just leave them and let them grow, and then you have to pick them. It's really fun.
Are we still talking about cows?
No.
What are we talking about now?
Plants.
Oh, okay. Hello there, what is your name?
My name is the Great Classy Dragon of the West.
Ooh, the great classy dragon of the West. I always wanted to meet you. Thanks for coming on to my interview show. I am Fred. Nice to meet you. Now, one thing that everybody is dying to know out there in our TV audience is, what is your favorite food?
Usually, cow.
Ooh, cows. Interesting. The fifth and final puppet has a fancy name. It's French. Starts with the letter M for marionette. It's a French word that means puppets. Marionettes are the puppets that have the strings, and the puppet hangs down. It's got the sticks up here, and the puppeteer moves the sticks and pulls the strings, and it makes the puppet move. There are three things that make most marionettes move. Two of them you can see, and the third one you can't really see. Are you thinking? You can see the sticks and you can see the strings, and that's what the puppeteer uses to move the puppet's foot up. But what makes the puppet foot go back down? The third thing that you can't really see that makes the marionette move is gravity. Gravity that's pulling the foot back down when I let go of the stick. It's the invisible string that's pulling it back down. quick review of all the 5 common types of puppets. Shadow puppets, finger puppets, stick puppets, hand puppets, marionettes. It is a dinosaur. That's the character of this particular puppet. The type of puppet is marionette or string puppet. Here's another string puppet. They're both marionettes, but the characters are different. This character is a dinosaur and this character is a crazy pirate. What type of puppet are these? Finger puppets. What are the characters? Well, this is a tricky one to guess what the character is. If you guessed grasshopper, you're close. It's a praying mantis. This one? Probably an alien frog. Do you remember what type of puppet this is? Here's your clue. It's a stick puppet. Da 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 da. Whoop 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 whoop. Do you remember what this one is? Ha! It's also a stick puppet. Do you remember what type of puppets these are? Well, I am holding them up with a stick, but they're used to make shadows, so they're shadow puppets. Do you remember what type of puppets these are? They're hand puppets. Those are 5 common types of puppets. There's tons of other types of puppets. There's animatronic puppets. There can be all different types of puppets. There's also full body puppets or carnival puppets. Some of you might be thinking about ventriloquism. Ventriloquists usually use puppets that are called dummies, but those could be hand puppets or a type of stick puppet as well. There's even water puppets. Crazy fun puppets. The first beginner secret of being a puppeteer is you control the puppet. That sounds pretty obvious, right? You're the puppeteer, you have the puppet, you're the one controlling it. But what it really means is you're in charge of the puppet, and you make sure that puppet does whatever it's supposed to do, and that it doesn't do things that it's not supposed to do. So, for example, if you happen to be at your house and your parents don't let you run around screaming all the time, then you can't make your puppet run around screaming all the time. Let me demonstrate. And if your parent says, "Excuse me, we're not allowed to run around and scream in the house right now," you can't say, "Well, I didn't do it, it was the puppet." Because who's in control of the puppet? You are! You're in control of the puppet. Make sure it does all the things that it's supposed to do and doesn't do the things that it's not supposed to do. It's got to follow all the same rules that you do. Beginner secret number 2. Treat puppets the way you want to be treated. That should sound familiar. Basically, you just want to be nice to puppets. I don't like being patted on the head. Oh, sorry, okay, I won't pat you on the head. All right. Respect the puppet. Don't throw them around, don't leave them on the floor, don't smash them, don't sit on them. Especially puppets that you make, because they're beautiful pieces of artwork and you should take care of them. If you would like to share any of your cool puppet stuff with us, go to adamswartzpuppets.com. Thanks for sharing!